Welcome, everyone. This is Adam, and
This is Rebecca.
we are here to give you a little preview for what you can expect from Horrifically Well Read, Bled, and Said in our second season.
Yeah, we're so first and foremost grateful for everyone that listened, participated, showed up as a guest, that shared, and the community that we've been able to build. We've been sharing a little bit about our recap on our stats and how well we did with actually achieving our mission of making this a really diversified horror ecosystem from authors, influencers, podcasters, you name it. Like we want to make a space for everyone and really feel like it's a true horror hangout. And so with that in mind, we spent time at the end of the year thinking, what do we do well? What do we want to continue to do? And what do we want to change a little bit and refine and clarify for season 2? So that's the point of the message today of what can you expect?
So, absolutely, you can definitely expect a lot more unhinged conversation. There's going to be a lot of laughter, there's going to be a lot of serious talk, but more than anything, we really want to focus on that initial sort of message that we wanted this to be about, which was connecting people with books that are going to really help them in some kind of way, right?
Absolutely, because we feel that horror is like a prescription, is like its own, reading it, talking about it, being within that community. And as for the laughter, I don't like, I enjoy laughing,
Yeah.
right? Who doesn't, right?
Mhm.
But do we laugh enough? And I often feel like when we're talking on here, I get a little like giddy and silly, and sometimes my ADHD kicks in and I'd like to jump all over the place, but that's the heart of this is never supposed to and never was ever supposed to be an interview show. This is supposed to feel like a horror hangout where whenever the guests are on that we're all talking collectively and enjoying discussing the topics. And yes, while we might lead it and guide it, it's supposed to feel free flowing stream of consciousness and just overall what comes to mind. It should be something that is less filtered,
Mhm.
just more raw
Yep.
and saying the quiet part out loud, things like that. One of the things that I personally I think did not enjoy doing so much anymore after season 1 was always asking like, what's your experience with horror? And it was fascinating and interesting at first, but at the end of it, I felt like we have this pretty strong consensus for the most part of what that is.
A lot of
So
goosebump people.
a lot of Goosebump, a lot of like,
Stephen King. So
yes,
it really, the fact of the matter is that, like, I
that's
think we,
good. But
yeah,
it
it
just
was
became a
interesting.
question that
Yeah.
took up 5 to 10 minutes that and if we talk about it again, that's fine, but it's not the core to what I want to
Mhm.
constantly ask anymore. I think the one question I want to ask and really pivot is who's the best audience for your book? Who if your book or if your page or your podcast or whatever it is, if you create art or zines or anything like that, who is the best person? Who needs this as a prescription essentially? Like in this moment because art is subjective and maybe I would read something now and it hits differently from my learned and life experiences versus if I had read it a few years ago or 2 years from now. So I think it's really important that whoever the guest is on really makes that recommendation of, this is a great book for you or this is a great page for you to follow, whatever it is at this time. If you are in this stage of life, if you're looking for books or material that revolve around X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we going to have authors on the show?
Always.
Are we going to have podcasters,
Yes, because we wanna hype up
influencers?
other
Yeah.
people,
Yep.
right? We absolutely wanna have influencers, and there's a lot of talent out here from people that draw to people that just review books really well, ones that just are, whether it's, like, funny or they're really well connected or they're always doing, like, good work out in the community. We are speaking of, we're gonna highlight book events and ones that we go to, and always uplifting a variety of independent, self-published, traditional, and having a representation of male, female, BIPOC. And, we read all different types of books all year long. Both of us read at a clip that is a lot of times very unsustainable for a lot of other creators. I mean, I don't know that I'll read 250 books this year and you read 190. So that's
I think we said it was
no, it's
450.
260. I read sorry, my goal was 250, but then I read 10 after. So I was like, well, that doesn't add up. But I mean, it's easy enough that we're going to each read 100 books this year, for sure. But that breadth and depth, and that doesn't necessarily mean that we overlap on them either. So the goal here is to always be reading nonfiction, literary fiction, other adjacent media, to be recommending, to be pulling from things, and then also being aware of what's happening in the world, looking at other people's media and sharing that and just saying, like, are we creating a horror hangout with what is actually happening right now, but also in a way to help with pre-orders and genuinely endorsing people that we enjoy their work.
Yep, absolutely. And, overall, 2026, as we get started in this year, I think we all need some prescriptions. We all
Fuck
need,
yeah.
we all need some help. We all need some joy. We all need some hope. We've talked about it many times. Horror is that genre that looks at all the things and does not lie about it, but tries to find a way to find meaning, understanding, and to actually find some surviving and thriving in this life and hope and joy within those things. And that's what our podcast is going to highlight. And that's what we're here to talk about and understand. And we're going to commiserate together. We're going to have joy together. And more than anything, as a hangout, we want to do it together. We want your feedback. We want the people's guests that are on our show's feedback on different things. And we just want to get through this, as a real community and, a whole ecosystem like Rebecca talked about.
Yep. So we have some additional things in the work coming up here, some Patreon opportunities that we want to have some more dedicated time for hanging out and more I guess I would say privately, like, unhinged things or more specific deeper dives or deeper topics. Adam and I want to make sure that we're sharing each week kind of what we're reading and what we're doing, more of less of just like highlighting a book one off here and there, because I mean, between the two of us, we're probably a book every day to every 2 days of what we're doing. So it's like, let's recapture that. And even if this person's not on the show, if this book is good and it's helping at this time, let's do that. And I want to get more listener feedback. I want to have more engagement. There's one drawback with this format is it's passivity. It's not an active engagement. And that's where the Patreon will come in and further community groups and some of the things. So stay tuned for what those are going to be. We've already worked on planning those out, but those will be on separate launches, and how that is going to directly impact and enhance your 2026. I look forward to sharing that with you.
Absolutely. So thank you all for listening. And we look forward to having another great season and time together.
Yeah, we already have so many authors and influencers, and that is such a beautiful thing to say. Before, I would say, even the end of November, December, I had a list of already 30 people that I had wanted to ask and see, and that has grown, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm looking to really diversify. So again, after you hear this, please message in, send us a DM if there's someone that you've wanted to see
Or a
on.
topic you want to talk about.
Yes, like, please don't be, as my boss says, don't be bashful. Now not the time to be bashful.
Even
Speak
if
up.
you're a little grumpy, it's okay. No.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you so much, because sometimes it does feel like we're screaming into the void. You don't actually know how, if this is making an impact or who's listening. And when we did the Spotify wrap up at the end of the year to see how many people actually listen to different countries and the amounts, it was uh
Inspiring.
yes, and humbling, and thinking like, okay, maybe what we're doing that just started out as a passion project, because we don't take any money, we don't any I mean, this is just the labor of love.
Yep.
And it's not super expensive to do this, but it's not cheap either.
Time and money. Why?
And yeah, all of that. And so it just means a lot that if it means something to you in your life, then it's worth it to us,
Yep.
that we're there to support and be a part. If we're a bright spot, I hope so. Yeah, let us know where we can continue to fill in the gaps for things that you want to be seeing and highlighted, and we'll have those next announcements out sooner than later.
All right. You'll hear from us soon.